So now I have when I have walked you through some of the basic help section and what flags we can set with Nmap, I am actually going to show you how we can do it here on the terminal actually, and how we actually do the scans. So for example, I am going to only run a default scan, a very simple scan on the whole network, and which is 192.168.1.1/24, and I told you that how we actually scan the whole network range. This is actually telling Nmap to scan whole network for us, which is the 255 devices or the clients or the IP addresses or the nodes which are connected to the network, and if they are up or if they are not. So here are the results, and you can see that Nmap is telling us that this is my router, and it is telling us that Nmap scan report, and it is telling us that port 80 is open, and it is a TCP port, and the service it is running, it is HTTP, and there is another port open which is 1900, and the protocol is TCP, and it is open port, and then it is running UPnP. Now it is telling us the MAC address for our device, which is this, and it is also telling us the vendor, which is TP-Link Technologies, and it is right. So there is another scan report for this IP address, and it is telling us that there is a device connected at this IP address, and these are all the ports which are opened for this device. So this is my Windows device, and it is telling us that 5060 TCP port is open, and the service is SIP, and all of these ports are open. So this is my mobile actually, and this is telling us that now that, for example, I confused it with my Windows machine, but now when I came down and Nmap told me that the MAC address is this, and this is a Motorola mobility device. So now I know that this is the scan results for my mobile actually. So you can see that how we can gain very useful information using Nmap. And now it is scanning this device, which is 103, and this is my laptop actually, and it is telling me that these three ports are open. This NetBIOS port is open, Microsoft DS port is open, which is on 445. This is the MAC address, and this is my actually Kali device, and it failed to gain some information about Kali, and I told you that Kali is actually a very secure system when we want to use it. It is a very secure operating system. So you can see that Nmap was not able to find any information on it, but it actually told us that there is a device connected at 192.168.1.104. So now we can actually run some advanced scans for this device and try to find information about it. And it is not that Nmap actually failed. It told us it succeeded to find a device, but it did not go into details. So for now, I am going to, now that we know that there is a port 80 open at my router, so let's try to actually scan this port only, and try to find the service version of 80 or HTTP it is running on my router. So I can say Nmap, then 192.168.1.1. so here I am specifying only one IP for it, then I can say dash p, and here you can see that I am telling Nmap to only scan port 80. Now there is one thing I want to tell you, is that for Nmap actually scans only first 1000 ports by default. So if I want to scan all the 65535 ports, I can write it like 12655535. So I put an extra 5. So 6535 is the number of ports which are available on a network actually, on a server, on a device. So writing this, I am actually telling Nmap to scan all the ports which are available on a server or on a network on a single device. and I can also write it as dash p dash, and it is going to give us the same output. So for now I'm only want to scan port 80, and then I can write dash sv to find the version. And another flag I'm going to set is dash t5. So I told you that with the time option we can actually control the speed of the scan. So if I put t5, it means that the scan is going to be more faster, and if I specify dash t3, it means that scan is going to be a little slow, and dash t1, it is very slow and it can take a lot of time. So we actually specify the time options when we are scanning a network and trying to hack into a system, because we don't want to get detected. So Nmap is a very noisy tool and it can be detected very easily. To actually to actually give the gap between the packets Nmap sent, we can specify the dash t option dash, and then we can say dash t2 or dash t3, and it is going to run the scan very slow and we won't be getting detected. But for now we are not afraid of getting detected. We are only scanning our own network, so we can say dash t5 and then press enter. And sometimes Nmap can the scans can take a lot of time to complete, so don't worry about it, you can just wait. Or there is another thing you can do, you can just specify dash vv, so you can know that yes, what is happening in the background. So you can see that the output for this was very small, but here we actually see all the detailed things that what Nmap actually was doing. So it is telling us that it is initializing an ARP ping scan, then it told us that it is scanning one port, then it told us that it completed ARP ping scan, then since stealth scan, and all these things. And in the end, here is our output. So you can see that now we have more detailed information about the port 80. It is telling us that it is port 80, it is running a protocol which is TCP, the state is open, the service is HTTP, and it is telling us the version. So this is actually the version we found, and this is the version it is running. It is a TP-Link WR841N. This is the MAC address, this is TP-Link, and this is the service info. And this is a lot of cool stuff that we found just by putting one flag, which is dash sv, that we actually managed to find the service versions. So now I'm actually going to clear it. So let's see, we want to know what operating systems our devices are running which are connected to our network. So for that I'm going to specify dash dot one slash dot one slash 24. So I am telling it to scan my whole network, and then what I want to tell it is I want it to find the operating systems for all the devices which are connected on our network. So I can say dash t5, and another thing I can just say dash sn, that I don't actually want it to scan the ports, because if we scan the ports too, that will be a very long scan. So I want it dash sn, and what sn is used, sn actually tells Nmap that it don't want to scan the ports, it only want to do the ping scan. So let's press enter. So it is telling us that OS scan is unreliable without a port scan. So you can see that Nmap is actually helping us that how we can actually uh, arrange our scan. So what options are available with one thing, and what options are not available with the other thing. So we cannot actually detect operating system without scanning the ports, and it is a very obvious thing. I actually did it, so you guys can know that yes, actually we cannot find the operating system just by ping scan. We cannot detect the operating system just by sending ICMP packets. We need to scan the ports, and then Nmap will check some fingerprints against those operating system, and it will then find the result for us. So now I remove -sn, and my scan is running, and it will show the output for us in a minute. So here is our result, and let's see what we found. And here it is. So for the scan report for 1.1, which is our router, it is telling us that the OS version it is running, it is Linux 2.6.15, and this is my mobile device, and it is telling me that it is a Motorola mobility device. And here is a warning. You can read that this is a warning, and it is saying that warning, OS scan results may be unreliable because we could not find at least one open and one closed port. So it is telling us that just don't be very sure about these results. It tried to guess, and this is what it found. So it is telling us that my mobile is running Microsoft Windows 2003, which is not correct. So sometimes it can fail, and sometimes and most of the times it actually tells us the correct output. So this is my laptop on which I am actually scanning the video right now. I am actually making the video right now. So you can see that it is telling us that it is just guessing, and it is telling us that it is a Microsoft Windows, which is correct. So Nmap actually tried to find that we are running a Microsoft Windows operating system, but what it failed to find is it could not tell that it is a Windows 10. So it is telling us that it might be a Windows XP or a 7 or 2008, and it is also telling us that how much it thinks that it is correct. So it is telling us that it is 87% correct. So it is a 50-50 result, and it found some information that yes, we are running Microsoft Windows, and then we can enumerate more, we can search more, we can do more advanced scans, and then we can find more information, and the results will be more correct. So we are only doing very limited scans right now. So for example, I want to save my output, so I am going to actually run the old scan again, which we ran here. So I want to actually save my output. So to save the output, I can say -OA, and then I specify the name. For example, I can say port 8080 scan, and I just press enter. So what this -OA is going to do is it is going to store my output. So now that my scan is complete, I can cat port 80.nmap. So this is the file I am opening, and I am telling it to open it in cat, and I press enter, and you can see that here is the result we got. So it is saved for us. I can also open it with gedit. I can say gedit and then port 80 scan.nmap, and it will open it for in a editor for us. So here you can see we have the scan results. So we have the scan results saved, and we can actually check it after we have finished scanning, and after we have finished our work, and then we can work on those scans. Another scan I want to actually tell you here very quick. So Nmap and so -SC. So I told you that Nmap is a vulnerability scanner too, and it actually scans with some script. So if we put -SC, so what it is going to do is it is actually going to run all the scripts in the scanning and then show the scan results for us. So this is a long scan too, but we can try. But the output will be very similar, but it can get different when it comes to scanning web applications and other things, because then it is very fruitful. So and I actually stopped it, and you can try it with yourself using -sc, and you can see you can also actually put a lot of options in it with the help command I told you, and as I said, there is a lot I want to tell you, but I cannot do that on a single video. But there are a lot of things I actually want walked you through. For example, another scan we can look into is -sl. So in the last scans we saw that Nmap was scanning the ports for us too. So this is just a list scan, and you can see that it scanned the ports for us. So it is just a list scan, so it only listed all the devices. So, and if I want do sn, and you can see that this is a ping scan, and it did not scan any ports for us. It only scanned the devices and saying that yes, this is a device, this is a router, and it is TP-Link, and there is another device, and it is 192.168.100. it is a Motorola device, and then the next device, and then it keeps going on like that. So we can do small scans, we can do large scans, and we can do a lot of crazy stuff using it. I want you to go into the help menu. I want you to go through each and every option available here, use these options, and then see what difference you get. And by the SS, I actually remember that if you want to do a stealth scan, that you want to scan the TCP ports, you can say -ss. If you want to also to scan UDP ports, you can use -su, and these are very important options when we actually scanning web applications or networks. So this is very important. Go look into TCP and UDP and see what services they run. And you can actually also scan, for example, I say nmap google.com, I press enter, and it will show the result for me in a minute. So I am not actually specifying a IP, I am actually specifying it just the domain for the google.com, and it will find the result for me in a second. So it is telling me that the port 80 is open for Google, and port 443 is open for Google, which is HTTP and HTTPS. So we can actually scan websites from with using Nmap. So if you want a verbosity output, you can see that it is pinging, and all that stuff is going on in the background. So you can actually scan the websites with it, and you can see what results you get. Just play with Nmap a little more, and you will be very pleased to use it actually. And in some countries you can actually scan websites, and it is allowed and it is legal. So if it is legal for you, you can go and then start playing with Nmap. And in the next video we will talk about Zenmap, which is a graphical user interface, and then we will see that how we can actually scan using Zenmap without we can actually scan with Nmap using Zenmap without being on a terminal. So we are going to learn that in the next video.